was new in the birth of its time. Like a creation of love, a baby curling in my eager hands. A giver I am indeed. To let this child grow into new hands, an open heart no longer my own. Yet a true artist knows that beauty, when young, is shared, and age is timeless. Until its last hour, while its final dream is to brush the sky with just a little dab of blue. Sometimes you're going to see I paint with words sometimes, and sometimes I paint with images and write them. I don't know. So this is called, I'm very attracted to things like the ocean, mountains, trees, leaves, what are they called? I'm losing the word now. Watchtowers. I think watchtowers are really cool, and windmills, and I just about get attracted to a lot of different things. I think that's, my brain is just like, I see something and I can't forget it, you know, and I have to obsess in a weird way, and then I have to get it out. So this is called Afternoon Solace. A woman gazes into the eyes of an afternoon lake, sun above her shoulders, warming her face, swallowing her loneliness. On the other side, the gray rocks rock aside to the song of the wind, finding the answer amidst the silence. As the hands of the earth dance in green celebration, as her body feels one in spirit with the trees, hope rises again. I was doing this, I like to drink tea, I'm a tea drinker. I also like to drink coffee, but I get into the tradition of the whole Irish thing about the tea, and it's a special time, and I put on music. I'm also into atmosphere, and you know, I like aromas, I like, you know, tea time is a special time for me. So what I did was I wrote these tea poems. I don't have all of them with me or anything, but this one, you know, I just, that was a very intense Irish and English tradition. I don't know about all the other people in the room here that are from other areas, but it's a time where you sort of get to know someone, you appreciate, I like to light candles and things like that. It's a very special time, and you really get to learn about somebody through tea time. You do, you know, and it's also a quiet time. So this one's called Peppermint Garden. So I was having peppermint tea. Morning time, she bends down, sun through her hair, and as she slowly inhales her peppermint garden, fresh, simple, its soft, leafy taste sings in her mind, high and sweet, glimmering dreams while the wind brings silver half-moons and twirling stars chiming from its leafless tree. Her peppermint garden erratically breaks into its new song, snuggling under her hands, tickling like cat whiskers, gently fingering through the herbs, massaging every wrinkle and playful ridge. She discovers the irony, so fragile, so small, yet a soothing remedy, plucks her babies from the roots. Satisfied, she returns into her warm house, her eyes watery, arms and legs prickly, pouring kettle water for her morning tea. I don't know if all of you have been noticing, but we're like in between seasons right now. I was really shocked the other day when it was snowing. I really thought I was hallucinating. I was like, okay, you know, the acid I did 20 years ago or 30 years ago is taking effect. I think the roofs are turning white, or you know, I kept looking out the window going, is this snow? Is this really snow? You know, and it was like 2 in the morning, and I wake up at really weird hours. I had PTSD as well. So I could hear something, and I wasn't sure what it was. And so just before that happened, I was looking at the leaves, and I was thinking, isn't it great? It's autumn, and I love autumn, and I love colors. So this was the poem I wrote before the snow, and it's called Exchanging Song with a Leaf. I lay here broken, shivering in the cool wind, fallen unto uneven ground, wavering neither left nor right, crackling dust softly until I waste away, non-apparent as the wind. Unclear voices wrestle, sputtering about like pigeons that startle the morning sun, scattering about the new trees, loosen the dry outer skins of branches that winter still allows to exist. I lay here waiting, my wrinkled edges dry and dusty, needing no air to fly, finding no space to flutter, folding these tired wings, inviting cool sleep, white, quiet peace to tuck me in snugly in a riverbed of snow while I dream of hugging the wet, brown earth. Am I dropping this again? Oh, this is okay. Now I'm one of these weird people that things happen for a reason, even if I don't know what the fuck the reason is. So I'm going to read this because it dropped. Somebody up there wants me to read this stuff. It's one of my shortest poems, and it's called Leaf and Flower. Like the flowers in a garden. So, leaf and flower. It captures your essence, wild dancer, rolling on the kitchen tile, magic within a leaf of mystery. For whom now are your half-moons flashing? Play with my dreams, delight in ecstasy, rejoice in this moment. Arise, 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 arise. Experience the moon and its magic, leaf and flower. I get into a lot of different moods. I bet most of you do too, and some of you may not admit it, but you do. And I'm definitely, I have my moods, and I spend a lot of time alone. And I also spend a lot of time right now trying to remember my childhood, which I blinked a lot of it out, because I too had a lot of trauma as a kid, to the point where I had to figure out ways to lock my door every night, and I would keep a knife under my pillow. That's pretty much how I spent a lot of my childhood. After the age of like 6, I actually had forks and knives under my pillowcases. So it's like, I still do. And I was unlucky enough. I had a sister that died. I never met her, but her name was Anne, and she was named after my mother. And my mother told me a story, and this is the story. It's called Blackbird. There was a blackbird by your window the day you died. It never sang, only rested on the ledge, awaiting for your return. But you, like the messenger, flew away into the heavens, where clouds and rain bleed into a fiery sun. I never heard your voice, but felt it fluttering deep within. Hearts beat within the skin of the earth's mother's soothing breath. We are one. We are one with this flight, so free. Your eyes now blind, but oh, what ecstasy you must see. There was a blackbird by your window. Now it is a shiny dove, whispering love into the endless sea, where now you cling. sometimes I write about fantasy because I don't always have it because I'm kind of a loner. But I used to go to the gym, and the gym had a sauna. And yeah, being bisexual, I would kind of notice the other women, and it always felt weird to me, and I always felt a little ashamed, but like lucky at the same time, I don't know if any of you can relate to this, but it's like you're in a sauna and you have tendencies, and you're so I kind of wrote a poem about it. The sauna has a way of healing women. That sounds innocent enough, right? Okay. This warm abyss awaits, enclosed privacy, little diary. You are mine for the taking. Cedar walls that ache to hold my naked spirit. And all daughters who join me renew the passion, release this fear. Soul of the easily lost, finding a span of sanity. Yes, yes, I am one of the naked women joined by the same desperate need to hold on to something, to take instead of give, to feel and give up thinking. Breathing in the wood deeper, feeling beads of sweat pour from my skin, believing with a prayer, a silent wish, and we laugh as we reveal old secrets, massage in rose oil, and relax in these moments of silence. You could probably guess I like the song a lot. This was a poem I wrote and I forgot about it, and it's weird, but it's actually for somebody that used to come to Stone Soup a lot. And her name was Patricia Fillingham, and I think her son was a artist or photographer or a little bit of everything.
Musician, David Fillingham,
yeah. Yeah, I don't know, is he still here with us? Or with his mom?
He's still around. He's
still around, we just don't see him. So when Patricia died, she was this really, I don't know if you ever meet people and they're one of a kind and you start to dig them, because they're so they're just special, And this woman had this special way about her that drew me in, and I didn't even know I was being drawn in. So this is in memory of dear Patricia Fillingham, and the name of the poem is called Patricia's Poem. To be one with sky like you are now, speaking poetry to us still, through rain, sun, and wind, and what words were once lost between us are now flowing freely like a river, through the grass and the weeds, and light and dark, your intimate stories being told to the clouds. My lively cats still jump every time the front door opens, for they believe it is you. My cats really liked her. So, you were a chosen spirit to paint the sky with your poetry. So we cannot cry, Patricia. Old life pours away as new life fills the soul. So your name, Patricia, is everywhere, and your blue eyes will shine like the stars, dreaming up a whole new world. I don't know what I just did with my phone. Here it is. I'm having a senior moment. Okay, here's this is The Woman Has a Voice. This whole book, I basically was going to a therapist who was trying to help me remember my past that I sort of blanked out and in and out of. I'd have dreams and say, wow, did that really happen to me? Or is this a dream? What is it? So I wrote this book called The Woman Has a Voice, and it's online. I don't see the money. I don't know what happened, but somebody's selling it. Sorry, as you can tell, I'm really computer savvy. And I called it Poetry of a Woman Becoming. And at first people made fun of me, some people, mostly men. And they said, becoming what, Deb? A woman becoming. And I just said, becoming, understanding yourself. And the whole book is based on surviving sexual and emotional and all sorts of abuse, but getting to the other side of it. And I wanted to make sure that I had some hope in it, because sometimes things happen, it sucks, you have trouble sleeping, you have trouble, you can't stop thinking about it, and you think you're weird and fucked up, and you really feel fucked up, okay? So like, I know I did. So, and it's hard, especially if it's a family member, you know? So I kind of wrote this book, and the woman that helped me write this book, edit my work, because sometimes I got emotional with it, and I'd stop for a while and go back to it. And her name was Lynn Stickler, and I had the privilege of going to her funeral. She helped a lot of people write, rewrite, edit their books, and she was a really special person. And I knew I had to go. I didn't want to go. It scared the hell out of me. I didn't want to go, and it was a Catholic funeral, and I knew that if she was alive, she would have said, get me the fuck out of this Catholic church. I don't want to be here. I'm a Wiccan. You know. So anyways, I know I'm getting off the topic, but it's just funny how things happen. You never know how it's going to happen. But her family took over, and it was in this Roman Catholic church or something. And I kept it, they allowed me to read a couple of poems as long as they weren't racy. Anyway, it does have some sexuality stuff in it. I have a whole chapter, Women Loving Women, and I think that kind of opened up venues. And a lot of this book sold to a lot of men who were reading it, because they kind of had girlfriends, and they were trying to understand, why is my girlfriend acting cold to me, or why is my wife all, and they thanked me later and said, thank you, because like now I get it. I didn't get it before. I thought she hated me all of a sudden, So this is called Yet, and Yet She Breaks. Lovely, playful, and yet she breaks. Just as a cloud would, slowly before your eyes, ever notice the change. Her mind loosens, falls, similar to leaves on a vine, clinging on to anything, anyone, a stranger walking by, and then the brisk release of violent rain, merciless wind, the senseless mark of decay, somehow the worst choice, if there is such a thing. But then slowly, before your eyes, she calmly gathers in her pieces and smiles at you through the tears and cuts. Lovely, playful, and yet she breaks. I go through this a lot. I guess it's a form of PTSD. I don't know. Whatever. For those of you that don't know, anybody in the room not know what PTSD is? It's alright if you don't. I mean, it's cool. But it's basically, you get irked by something, and it strikes a memory, and then you get nervous, and you get racy, and you kind of like, it's really aggravating. You don't know how to stop it. It's almost like you're having like a panic attack almost. So I was going through that, and I wrote this poem right after I had it, and it helped me, So it's called, It's Getting Harder to Sleep. Sleep it on the crooked couch, the unfixed cats jumping and moaning at night. You, smoking cigarette after cigarette, scratching the next ticket that's supposed to win. Our real dream house, lots of money. I light a candle like I used to and say a silent prayer. Like, dear God, please don't let me kill myself. This empty feeling has got to go away sometime, right? You turn on the TV for a little piece, and then we hear stories of molestation and bombing until we both decide, well, maybe reading would be better. So you begin reading about the infinity of space and travel. I read about poetry, and I try to remember when my heart felt good. I focus on the times when I felt strong and not so fragile. But it's getting harder to remember those times. It's getting harder to sleep. The morning fills me with alarm, woozy from the spin of worry, lack of boundaries, the hunger. I wish I could be like you and sleep, or deny my feelings, forget about the cynical return of morning, sun peeling my eyes. Open, more pills to swallow. Open, more pills to swallow. And each morning my hair gets a little more rustled. Sometimes I forget what day it is. We talk about love in between the list of things to do. And I see the cat anxiously propped on the bureau, staring intently at the shifting grass through the black window bars. Her green eyes wince as though she is frustrated. Or is it because she feels trapped? Or is it because she can't get out? I feel her need to leave, to jump, to bounce around the hot carpet. But instead I try to close my eyes again. My head beats with regrets. I remember how mornings used to be difficult for my mother. She would say, "Here we go again," and her eyes would sink deep into the struggle that we all know, women especially, age. It is hard to write about this stuff, you know. I spent so many years trying to forget it. so what I finally decided is that I wasn't a victim, I was a survivor. And that's what kind of, the book took its own direction after a while, you know. It was a learning experience, and that's what I like about books, they're learning experiences. So this piece is called Survivor, which is what I redefined myself as. And you know, sometimes these programs are out there. I was in a program called Victims of Violence, and I hated the name of it. And I told the leader right out, I was like, this is a stupid name for your group because we're not victims. We were, but we survived it. We came off to the other side. She goes, yeah, but we got more funding this way. That's what she said. So anyways, I ended up reading this in the group. Survivor. I don't know how to stop it sometimes. My body, it can be so overwhelming, pulsing, throbbing, disconnected mess. I never asked for this. Thanks for your sickness passed on. I know all about opening doors and windows, letting air and light in, but I'm bleeding wild right now, breathing in and out of panic. My bones feel like stones. My sex organs are scarred, all of them. My wound empty 2 daughters later, and the warmth left me. But the fire of wings reside in their spirited eyes. The truth is that my sadness burns me in my living to the point of helplessness. I am burning alive as others watch. There must be a pill, some pill to numb the pain somewhere. I am tired of pretending that nothing hurts. Forgive, perhaps. Forget, never. Poetry is what saved me from me. It saved me from you. I never wanted you. Watch me. Watch my blood pour all over my words. So I do have 2 daughters, which, to be honest, I never thought I would have children because that's how traumatized I was. I started to just get into women more, and men were, I was just fearful of them, I really was, and I didn't like them. So, but I ended up meeting a guy that was also like kind of bisexual, and now he's married to a younger man half his age, and he's happy, you know, and I'm still alone, and you know, whatever. So this is a poem I wrote for my daughter, Vina, who's the spirited daughter. She's 33 now, she's a real estate agent, and she worked with dead bodies for a while at the Brigham and Women's, and she worked on some of the victims of that, what was it, when the bomb went off and people were jogging? Marathon. Yeah, my daughter actually worked on some of the bodies. She worked in the morgue. So this is a tough girl, and I used to think she was so unlike me, and my ex-husband said, no, she is you. She's a spit of you. So this is called My Teenage Daughter and I Talk Openly About Sex. Yes, it hurts. I wasn't coy. And the lining inside is called a hymen. Not seen, but felt sharp. And the rumor about the blood, my dear, is true. So please, let it be someone you love and trust. I know it sounds scary, but you wanted honesty. Here it is. It stings. We'll get better in time. He will be passionate like you. No one will be thinking. Everything will be overwhelming. But please, let it be someone whose name will feel like magic when you whisper it. Let it be someone who takes care of you outside of the bedroom too. Let it be someone who can kiss away your tears.
Deb? 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 One or two more.
And here's one about, it's about Vina too, and we fight so much, but we call each other every day. So getting pregnant was also quite a trip, you know. I don't know if any of you ever got pregnant, but for me, it was such a trip because I never thought I would ever get pregnant. So here's a poem called Daughter, and again, this one's for Vina. I don't mean to ignore my other one, so my last poem will be about my other daughter. Vina, when you were in my belly, your tiny elbow would trace a bumpy path from my middle to my chest. Some said it looked like a doorknob moving. Now that you're grown, I looked at you smiling and talking so fast, eyes flashing auburn, and I realized you are in fact the door. My other daughter's name is Rebecca, spelled the Hebrew way, R-E-B-E-K-A-H, and she's married now, and has an excellent husband. Both my daughters experimented, so both my daughters are bisexual too, which I kind of never wished on them, but you know, I'm open-minded, so, but you know, they did all right with it. But she had a beautiful operatic voice, and every time she would sing, I would cry, and I would get really pissed that I was crying. So this is called Halos to God, Voice of an Angel. I was dancing to the song of the dust, my heart the echo of wind fading. Then came the voice of an angel. She sang like rain in the dry heat of day, flew her wings of harmony by way of her flowering soul, and it was free. So free I could taste the heights of her air. I was dancing to the song of the leaves, dying and crackling their death, breath by breath. And then I heard the cry of a heart losing its life through music, beat by precious beat. Life so passionate, it rose quick like fire, sending halos only God could touch.
How about another round of applause for Deb Priesly? Keep it going for Deb Priesly.
I just want to say that the voices that I heard tonight, it was such a pleasure to just sit and feel the sensation of all the emotions of other people and their observations, and it just reminded me of an ocean with waves and sparkles and all sorts. That's what I was actually seeing visually when I was trying to, you know, hear the voices and everything. So I want to thank all of you for sharing each wave that you brought tonight. Thanks.